Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin. I cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Today we're going to be focusing on these very small time frame structures over here, starting again from the lows that we had on the 13th of October. If you want to be seeing the higher time frame structures, I created a video during the weekend about this, the higher time frame structures and the counts from the 69k highs. You're more than welcome to check that out. But now let's dive into this more local structure and starting with the 5-minute time frame. Now at this moment, this is the main count. Either having, this is again, for me, this looks very clear as a 5-way structure. I've seen some people saying that this is a 3-way structure. I don't see it at all. The only issue is that on 5 minutes or higher, we don't have any divergence at these highs. On 1 minute, we do have them starting from the third of thirds and against the basically the end here, having that divergence, giving us the indication that momentum is about to turn, and then we would be continuing to the downside. Now on higher time frame, again, I would be labeling this either as an A wave, B wave, and then C wave of micro most likely at this point, or something a smaller time frame depending on the higher time frame degrees we have. But again, my main idea here is that it is actually a wave A instead of wave 1. So I am still bullish, somewhat bullish, looking for a C wave higher, of course, but I'm not saying that we had a bottom here in which, or after which we are just going to be ripping higher with a 5-way structure, but instead a 3-way structure like so. But we'll look into that C wave later on as this structure has been built, and there is still more time for that, I do think. Now, before getting into that, these later stages, let's take a look at what we've had since the highs that we had around the 19.95k. I've labeled this as a 5-way structure into wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It looks pretty okay. We do have some kind of divergence at these lows, at least here. This definitely is not perfect. I feel like we could be having some kind of a diagonal at these ends, but I just couldn't figure out a good looking structure here. If we had the wave 4 example on here, we would have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but third here at that point would be the smallest. So that's why I had it like this here, having this as a running flat instead, and some kind of very ugly structure. I'll create an ugly diagonal into the 5th to complete a possible A wave here. Again, this A wave is smaller degree than this one. This A here is part of this B wave, and as we have this as a 5-way structure, we would be looking for a zigzag pattern. As for wave Bs, all of them are 3-way structures. So A, B, and C would be the idea here, well, we would be looking at. Now, zooming in a bit so we can take a look at the structures more closely. Here is again that low of A wave. I think we have a diagonal here for that wave, another wave A, and then again we would have some kind of 3-way structure ending at the lows here for the wave B, or at these lows. I don't mind either. We would have 5 ways, something like that. It is definitely not too pretty of a structure. I feel like it looks a bit better here if we do it like this. We do have that divergence at these ends, so I do think that we have actually a 5-way structure in here to fit into this 5-way structure that we had here, giving a partner leg. Now that structure would be completed up in here with that divergence as mentioned, and then we would be looking for lower prices. On 2 minutes, again, we had finished another structure, so this ABC. I don't think that was enough for a wave B of this sub-micro count here. So I was expecting us to create another high here, and we did do that. For this one, we have had this as a 3-way structure. To me, that looks pretty good. There's nothing really invalidating that. I think he landed right at the 1.618 though. Oh, okay, he just missed the 1.618 just by a tad before reverting higher, and then we would be looking for higher again. This definitely to me looks like a 5-way structure, same as this one. So again, another ABC is what we are expecting, and some kind of pump we are getting here again. Again, at this moment, I do think that we have this as a 1, 2. Either we have this as the 3rd wave, or this is a part or still that third wave where we have this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and extended fifth, or just a fifth wave before fourth and fifth to give this a whole structure, something like that. Now the maximum we want to see this B go to is the inverse 1.618 of this A wave here, marked in white. Again, this would be a three-way structure like so, 3 ways up here, and we are pretty close already to that structure over here. So I do like that we could be ending that count here as with that orange C wave where we would have this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Not of course the perfect look, we don't have higher time frame divergence there. On 1 minute we do have that divergence still in play, having it from the possible third of third here, but again this might not be complete, and if we do think that this was the third, I do think we might have one more high here at least to be made, with this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we are getting below the 0.5 retracement of this possible third wave here around 19.45k, then I would think that we just we don't see the wave 4 in here, and this whole thing is complete. But yeah, that is what I'm expecting at this very moment. Now that would end the wave B here of this AB, and the next thing that we would be looking for is a C wave, which I've labeled in here. Again, the expectation is that we would be getting at least beyond the A wave, otherwise this whole thing would be a running flat, which is a bit more rare than the expanded variety of it. Definitely the targets would be around here, taking out the wave A lows here around the 1.618, 1.236 and the 1.382, which would lie around 19k. At that point again, we would be looking for this as a 5-way structure, because this is again a 5-wave structure for that C wave. So overall, this would be an A, B, C. And if this is turning out to be the right count, this should be done by the end of tomorrow morning, at least if we have the right look here. It shouldn't take too much more time than the B wave here. A wave here was very swift and very short in time as well, now comparing it to that B wave. So I don't think C wave should take that too much longer. So yeah, that would complete us again the higher time frame wave B, in which we have this as the A wave, then B wave, and then what are we expecting again? A C wave. Of course, we don't know how low this structure or retracement here goes to. If it goes beyond the 90%, let's see, around 19k, where we have these targets, then we do have the expectation that we have this as that A, B and C. If it does not get to the 19k lows, and we are getting some kind of truncated structure here, I do think that this higher time frame structure would be a WXY instead, and then we would be just labeling this A. Instead of this A, we would be labeling it as a W wave here. And again, then we would have another projection for the possible B wave, which we already have some retracement targets of this A wave already in place. Golden pocket would be around 19.6k, taking out these current lows or current highs that we do have at the moment. So yeah, that would be the idea here. But of course, there are a lot of stuff that could be going on here before we are getting here. So projecting too much further than this is just a guessing game, in my opinion. So I feel like that is pretty much where I should be leaving this count with. Again, there's no point talking about this too much, in my opinion. Of course, for educational purposes, identifying smaller time frame structures here, linking them up with the higher time frame structures is very valuable to understand the fractality of Elliott Wave, in my opinion. And again, as this was a 5-way structure here in A, we would be looking for that C wave as a 5-way structure as well here. Invalidation for this whole idea of this being a 5-way structure would be at these highs, because again, we can't have a zigzag going beyond the starting structure. At that point, I think we have to look into the possibility of this being a 3-way structure here, and then this being some kind of WXY or something. But we'll look into that later on, because again, that does not really look too good at the moment. So I'm sticking with this for the moment. But I feel like that is pretty much all the expectations I have at the moment for Bitcoin. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Links to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye.